What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? It's your old pal Shanksy, and welcome to my roster reviews, where we review yours. Well, maybe not yours, but somebody's roster that has asked for it, and we check out what they're farming, how they're looking at the moment, and what they're working towards, and see if there's anything I can do to help them out, give them any advice or anything like that, and hopefully help you guys out at the same time. Now, these are really good to see, A, where they stand, B, how much money they've spent, and C, compare that to your roster and see where you equate to as well in the grand scheme of the big old world of Marvel Strike Force. Now, if you are interested in getting your roster reviewed, there is a link down below to my Discord. All the information is in there. Unfortunately, I've had to add a small charge to the service because they do take quite a lot of time. So if you are interested, jump in the Discord and drop me a DM. I look forward to hearing from you. But without further ado, let's get into it. Yo, what is going on, boys and girls? What is cooking, good looking, and how the devil are we? It is time for yet another roster review. You know it, and today we're going to be looking in at Supes/Super. I'm not sure how he likes to pronounce it. I'll put my hands up. I'm not entirely sure how he likes to pronounce it, but he has been playing for almost 300 days. In that time, spent about $500 and collected a total collection power of just over 3 million. With 287k, his strongest team power, he's been War MVP a massive 56 times. Yes, 56 times. That's absolutely crazy. 123 of the characters collected, with 24 of them at max rank. All-time arena rank is 1, and we got a little screenshot of when he hit rank 1 as well. I like it, I like it, I like it. And the latest arena rank is rank 4. Now, what I'm hoping, guys, is this going to be a super interesting video for anyone between the 2.5 to 3.5 million. You know, anyone between 2.5, 3.5 million, maybe even creeping up towards 4. What am I doing with my roster? Where am I going? What should I be focusing on? There tends to be slight plateaus in power when you hit certain marks, and that's because you're getting your top teams up, but then what do you do? You know, what do you do? And hopefully I'm going to be able to give some advice on how to get around that creep and what you should be focusing on, where, why, and how to do so. Hopefully that is the hope that I take going into this video. So without further ado, let's have a little look into it. So as always, guys, we're going to run through the roster first, and then we'll get into the save squads and hopefully be able to give you guys some good advice for this one. So straight away, look at that. 7 red stars on Thor. He's 72k power at the moment. He's going to jump up 95, something like that. There's also, this is disgusting, I noticed this earlier when I was loading these pictures up, 7 red stars on Sif. What? 7 red on Sif, 7 red on Thor, 5 on Hela. You know we're getting them promotion credits soon. That can be 6 on Hela, 5 on Loki, 3 on Heim. That's disgusting. That Asgardian team is disgusting. It's dirty. It's wrong. It shouldn't be allowed. Holy moly. That's why he's got 56 bloody War MVPs. What? That's one crazy team, dude. One absolutely crazy team. G bloody G. We've got Black Bolt there, 38k. 4 red stars on him as well. Crystal, 28.5k. Already making good progress on Crystal, nearly up towards 5 stars there. That's awesome. I'm having no such luck personally, so fair play to you, man. Yo-Yo there at 99, 4 stars as well, 28. Quake there at 26, and Karnak at 25. Now, I will say straight away that all of these guys that you got favorited, no one's actually farmable apart from Quake, but Quake can get through the store. So I definitely recommend farming Quake out through the store. But yeah, none of these guys are farmable. So I'm wondering where your energy goes every day. What you're spending it on. Is there any characters that you're trying to get more shards of, or are we just focusing on gear at this point in time? Personally, I would always try and do a bit of both. I'd always be focusing on stars and gear. So normally the way that I do it, I've got a team that's favorited, but I'm actively working on their gear. and I've got maybe 4 or 5 characters, a team, that I'm farming out to 7 stars. So that's the way that I like to do it. That's the way that I like to spread my energy around. And obviously, if I hit someone like crazy, like, I don't know, if Sif was farmable and I hit 7 stars on Sif, then she's going to be the focus. Right, then we go down top of the shop. We are looking at Star-Lord at 55k. We've got Groot there at 51. Nick Fury, Rocket Raccoon 49. We've got Minerva at 48. We've got Ultron behind my big fat head at 46, with Phoenix at 42. Winter Soldier at 42, Jessica Jones at 41, and Captain Marvel at 39. Now, straight away off the top of the shop, there are 2 characters in my mind that are worth going up to 75 all day, every day, without question. And that is, without a doubt, Phoenix and Ultron are worth 75 all day. There's a very good argument for Captain Marvel as well, but without a shadow of a doubt, Phoenix and Ultron. I noticed in your arena squad, you're using both Phoenix and Ultron like the world and his wife, like everyone that's got them is. And the way that I try and set this game out in my mind is like, right, what helps me every day? So every day I fight in the arena, every day I do raids with my alliance, right? So raids and arena are my top priorities. They are my top priorities. Then, right, what's my second priority? After raids, because raids are going to give me a huge amount of gear, huge amount of like stuff to help my roster out, and the arena is going to give me cores, and that's going to help me out with energy. It's going to help me out if I need to buy an extra pack of something, whatever. That is going to be my main focus. That's going to help me every day. So what helps me after that? So then I start looking at, well, let's be fair, after that is war, right? We're in war like 3-4 times a week. So war's going to be my focus after that. And then it's blitz. Now, I might blitz really hard, or I might blitz meh if it's a character I've already got 7 stars, you know? So the blitz isn't an everyday thing anymore. You know, I can do 1 rotation, hit my milestones, get out type thing. Or if you're going really hard, then blitz adds itself up. But it's not as important in my mind as the rest of it. So Ultron, Phoenix, while they're in that arena squad, while Ultron's so needed in the raids, all that type of stuff, definitely be looking at taking them guys up to 75. But that's the type of way that I set out my priorities for the game. If you guys are deciding what to prioritize, you know, ask yourself a simple question: Is this going to go into my arena? No. Okay, cool. Is it going to go into my raid team? Yes. Okay, sweet. Let's do it. Is it going to go into my raid team? No. All right. Is that one going to go into my raid team? Then prioritize like that, you know. That's the way that I like to do it anyway. So, you know what? I've just noticed, actually. I've made this a little bit too big. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I've made this a little bit too big. There we go. There we go. Cooking with gas now. Let me see if I can create some magic. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know how to do the top bit, I've got to be honest. Hang on, there we go. Oh dear, professional streamer, boys and girls. Professional streamer. Right, there we go. At least you can see everyone again now, right? I totally... What an idiot. So we got Karnak and Black Bolt that you would have missed on the previous page. My bad, guys. My bad. Most people would edit that out, but I want you guys to know that... This is the type of shit that happens on a daily basis over here, you know what I'm saying? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So we've got Agent Coulson there at 39, level 71 as well. Daredevil at 38, Sabretooth at 37. We've got Mordo at 37, Gamora at 36, Shield Security at 35, nearly 36. Again, I'll definitely work on getting him towards him to 7 stars. And he really greatly benefits from that 71 gap as well. That extra focus, that extra resistance. Shield Security is the tank of that team. Makes a lot of sense taking him up to 71. He's 70 at the moment. Iron Fist at 35. Magneto at 35. Luke Cage 35. War Machine at 34. Then we move across to Storm at 34. We've got Rhino at 34. Wolverine at 33. Punisher, Doctor Strange, Drax, Nobu. We've got Thanos in there at 31. Vulture and Psylocke. See, Psylocke's like one of the characters that's probably going to get dropped in the long term from my X-Men squad. However, she's still one of the characters that I throw energy at every day just to try and get her up to 7-starred. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Punisher, I'd probably look at taking up to 7 eventually. I wouldn't really do much with that Daredevil at this point in time, nor that Iron Fist. I feel like my love affair with the Defenders is starting to slip in a big way. They're all right, you know, they're still doable, but they're no longer, I don't know, man. I don't know. I love them. They got me through Alt 6. They've carried me through a great chunk of content out of this game. But I feel like the love affair, unfortunately, is over, baby. That time. It's not me. It's you guys. All right. Right, we've got Deadpool there at level 60, 31. We've got Mystique. We've got Falcon. We've got Iron Man, Jugs. Green Goblin behind me at 30 as well. We've got Colossus, Spider-Man, Mantis, and Yondu. So, fair enough. I just want to go back and check something really quick, actually. Really quick. So, Star-Lord is at 6. Yeah, he's already at 55k. So, I would probably be working on Yondu and using him as one of the Guardians / Ravengers to unlock Star-Lord to 7. I feel like that's going to take your Star-Lord up to like 60k. Guardians are phenomenal. It's worth working on Yondu a little bit for that reason. Got Rescue there at 29. Namor there as well. Shield Medic at 28. Shield Medic, if you're using with the rest of the Fury team and Coulson, obviously, it's quite important to have a fairly tanky Shield Medic. You've also got 5 red stars on that Shield Medic. So spending some resources over that way is not going to be a bad thing. I would say for war defense that, you know, it's going to help you out. But let's be fair with your Asgardian team. Shit. Ain't nothing getting through your room anyway. We've got Vision there at 28. We've got Ghost Rider at 28. Scarlet Witch behind me at 27. Hulk at 27. Carnage at 26. Pyro at 26.3. Invisible Woman at 26. Then moving on down to Shuri at 25. Mr. Sinister at 24. Elsa Bloodstone, Spider-Man, Shocker, Captain America, Mysterio, Venom, Human Torch, and Strife, all around those 20 marks. Now, these are some of the characters that I would start to be working on for U7 and thinking about that. I would definitely be looking at Shuri. She's really handy. Vision, again, for U7 is really handy. There was Falcon further up here at 30.7. That is, again, really handy for Ultima 7. And if you're moving in that direction, getting these guys up towards the higher echelons of your roster might not be a bad shout. You know, this is where we're starting to see the depth, as it were. So Shield Assault coming in there at 22. Hand Assassin at 21. Again, I would have Hand Assassin favorited. Make sure we get that up to 300 so we can ping in that 7-star Phoenix, baby. Graviton there at 21. Ronan the Accuser, Scientist Supreme. Kree Cyborg behind me. And Kree Cyborg is 6 red stars there. And I've got to be honest, it might be because I've just got a really big Ronan recently. I'm starting to rate the Kree team as an attacking force in war. Not like we've got crazy punch up or anything like that. But if they're going even power or something like that, they're not a bad team whatsoever, especially in war. Now, Kree Cyborg is one of them that makes it really nice. He's also part of Casino's Asgardian crackers, as it were. So leveling him up a little bit might not be a bad chat, especially with that 6th star on him. You know, he's got multiple uses at this point in time, either in the Kree team itself with Ronan and whatnot, or putting him in there with that Asgardian crackers. Might not be a bad shout, man. Especially at 6 red star, he could be a bit of a behemoth. Then we've got Crossbones at 19.8. We've got Kree Royal Guard. We've got The Thing. We've got Night Nurse at 18. Mr. Fantastic at 18. Going down to Miss Marvel, Kree Oracle, Bullseye, Killmonger. And then we're going to start seeing our usual suspects, as always, right? Kree Reaper, Elektra, Black Widow in there at 15. Ant-Man in there at 15. Kingpin in there at 15. Another part of the Casino Asgardian crackers. I've not yet leveled that team up yet, so I haven't tested it personally, but it's looking fairly straightforward. Kree Noble at 14A, Aim Assaulter, Aim Security, Cable in there. Some pretty nice red stars there on Aim Assaulter as well, 5 stars. So the AIM team could definitely do with some loving. If I was going to start anywhere with that, I'd start with Scientist Supreme. Scientist Supreme, in my book, is probably one of the best characters in the game at this point in time. You know, like the way that she spreads them buffs, blips, but like she is so good at this point in time. And if you had told me that last year, I would have laughed you out the building. I'd have laughed you off the channel. But she is, right? There's no argument for it anymore, man. There is no argument for it. Scientist Supreme is one of the best characters in the game. Then we got Hand Sorceress, Black Panther, Hawkeye. Decent red stars on that Black Panther as well. Merc Lieutenant, Shield Operative. Aim Monstrosity, Aim Infector, Okoye, Umbarko, Nopula, Ravager Boomer, Korath. Again, Korath is part of that Asgardian Cracker team. And with 5 red, might not be a bad shout. He hits pretty hard, you know. He hits pretty hard. So, yeah, your Asgardian Cracker team might not be that bad at all, man. You've got some big old reds on a lot of the guys that are needed for that. Shield Trooper there, Hand Sentry, Merc Soldier, Wasp Blade Master Trooper, Researcher, yada, yada, yada. You know the bottom of everyone's roster, guys. It's the same for everyone. Stitchers down there, all the Hydras, most of the Hand team. It's the same for everybody, as well it should be. So, right, we've got quite a bit to work with at the moment. And again, where we're probably struggling is the depth and what we're going to improve upon. So, let's have a little look at the save squads and see what we can see. But it is worth noticing, and I just noticed this as we flicked over to this bit, it is worth noticing that the Asgardian Crackers do require fairly heavily on Ultimates, so I wouldn't work on them until we get Ultimates unlocked. So ignore what I said about focusing on them certain characters. They're still good in their own right. You know, Korath, Kree, Cyborg, they're still good in their own right, especially at that such high red stars. But as part of the Asgardian Crackers, Ultimates is pretty essential, unfortunately. So, right, let's have a little look. Top of the shop, we've got 250k on that Asgardians team. That is going to jump up tremendously once Sif becomes farmable. Once you get Thor up to 7, once Hela becomes farmable, that is going to be a real scary team, dude. That is going to be a real scary team. That is definitely one that I've focused on quite a lot myself. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit earlier in the video as well, is when and where to focus on people. So, and I believe it depends on what your overall roster strength is at the moment, right? So, for example, at the moment, I'm just under 5 million total collection power. So now I'm working on individual teams. And where I'm working on individual teams too, Gear Tier 12, level 71. That is my focus for a team. When I get a brand new team, I look at it and go, right, you're all going to be level 71. You're all going to be Gear Tier 12. And then I'm going to move on to the next team. That's because my roster is now quite high. The level 71 Gear Tier 12 makes it a very, very, very strong team. Now, if I was at the 3 million mark, what I would be doing is probably the same thing, but obviously lower. So I'd be going, right, to start with, let's get this team to Gear Tier 10, level 60 or level 65. So let's take all of, I don't know, the Brotherhood, for example, to Gear Tier 10, level 65. All right, cool. Now we know we're going to use Jugs. We know we're using Magneto. We're using them over there. We're using that for Arena. We're using that for Arena. They can go up. They can carry on. But the rest of the team stays there. It's not that important anymore. The overall, you know, don't have more than 5,000 power between your highest and your lowest is not that important anymore. So try and focus on individual teams. Let's go, right, let's take them up to 65, Gear Tier 10. Or you might want to take them up to Gear Tier 11, 65. Or level 60, Gear Tier 10. Whatever you want to do, but focus on a team until we can get it about the 200k power mark. And then let's move on to another team. Then we'll get them up to 200k. Then basically your line is going to be 200k. And then any other team that goes above that due to red stars or anything like that, lovely. You know, we'll start seeing 250s, we'll start seeing 280s in no time due to red stars and red stars alone. But your baseline of your team is going to be very, very, very strong at Gear Tier 10, Gear Tier 11, level 60, level 65. It all depends on where you are with your roster. So at 3 million, for yourself, Supe, I would be looking at strengthening individual teams up to gear tier 10, or at least gear tier 10, possibly gear tier 11, level 65s, and then working out what the key component is in that team. You know, so for example, Black Bolt in the Inhumans, to me, is the key component, right? So let's take him up further. You know, within the X-Men, Phoenix is your key component. Let's take her up further. Phoenix and Black Bolt also can go into your arena team, so that makes even more sense. So focusing on the overall team, and then let's focus on the key component to boost that team, as it were. So we've got the Guardians there, fairly standard placement. Personally, I like to separate the positioning over here, especially for Blitz. I would move Rocket Raccoon to where Minerva is. Then Rocket Raccoon will get the energy from Star-Lord and Thanos. Minerva will still get the energy from Thanos. And especially in a Blitz, it's more about that quick damage rather than like a raid where you need a bit more sustain. So that's where I'd be moving my positioning slightly for that team. Then we've got... this looks like it could be a raid team, you know, or it could even be the arena team. This looks like it could be the arena team. We've got Black Bolt in there, Magneto, Ultron, Phoenix, and Jugs. I think, if I remember back to the first picture, that is actually the arena team. So then we move down to the Defenders, 183k. So that would be the first team that you could be like, right, let's get them to 200. Now, don't do the Defenders as the first team. Definitely not, because there's far better teams out there to focus on. But that's what I'm saying. Let's get the baseline of these guys up to the 200k mark. So the first team for me, and the closest team for you to do it on, would be the Shield minions. So Nick Fury, Coulson, and Shield. You're nearly there or thereabouts anyway. You know, decent red stars on them. Let's focus on Medic a little bit. Let's get Shield security up to level 71. All that, and very, very quickly that team's going to be 200. You know, then it's up to you if you want to take them up to, if you do want to finish off that team to gear tier 11, you know, 7 stars, that type of thing. That could be a 250, 280k team. Same with the X-Men. Now, the reason why I'd be hesitant on the X-Men is because Colossus is still not farmable. So until Cyclops comes out, and we don't know how long he will be farmable for, the only one that I would really focus on that team is the core component, and that is going to be Phoenix. Then we move down to the Brotherhood team. I see that you're keeping the Brotherhood team together, but then also separating them for the Marauders as well. So for Blitz especially, I would probably make one of these teams disappear, and probably have 10 Blitz teams in my save squads. Now I personally have 15, and then I remake my teams for whatever else I need them. But at least have 10 Blitz teams that aren't duplicating characters, so you don't need to spend refreshes or anything like that. And then if you're in war, you know that you can select your own characters and stuff, you know, so that's what I'd do. Have at least 10 Blitz teams, and then maybe 5 war attack or whatever I need down the bottom. So separating the Brotherhood, I personally like to keep the Brotherhood together. I actually use something very, very, very similar to this in one of my Ultron teams. So yeah, I like this team a lot. Supernatural down here at 150. This would be a great team as well to focus on, you know, level them up to the 200k mark. It's going to give you, I feel like the 200k mark as well, it gives you a lot more punch up. So at like 150, you can't punch up to 200. But at 200, you can easily punch up to 250, if that makes sense. You know, it's like, it's normally the abilities are just a little bit more like finessed and whatnot. And they tend to do a little bit more damage, allowing them to punch up a little bit easier and almost start that snowball effect, as it were. Then we've got the Power Armor team. Now, the core component for me for the Power Armor team is Falcon in War Machine in Blitz. But a lot of people overlook the very needed let's keep Rescue alive till turn 2 so we can clear off debuffs and offense up. So try and level them guys up as much as possible within keeping to themselves. Now, Vision and Falcon can also go into separate teams, and they can make decent U7 teams as well. If you're looking at further on down the line for Ultima 7, these are guys that are going to do you very, very well indeed. Then we're rocking another Shield team down here without Coulson. I'm guessing this could be for a Blitz of some sort. But if we're not using Coulson anywhere else, then I wouldn't worry about it. I'll probably delete this team and see if we can get another 5 characters in there for a Blitz team, you know. 144k for the Sinister Six. Solid team. Nothing wrong with that. Again, it would be a team that I would start looking to take up, but it wouldn't be my priority. I think my first team that I would work on is this Shield team right here. And then depending on what I wanted to do, whether or not I was focusing on attack or defense for war, is my second one would be the Power Armor team to 200k. Power Armor is one of my favorite teams in war. You know, like you see them big BKT teams in like war, you take your Power Armor team, you are punching up all day, every day. It's beautiful. So Power Armor would be my next one after the Shield minions. And then I would probably go on to Supernatural at this point in time. Then we go down to the Brawlers. Now, the Brawlers are looking pretty good, as long as we've got tier 4s in Miss Marvel's passive. Now, up until we've got to tier 4s in Miss Marvel's passive, the Brawlers are just type of alright. You know, they're okay until we got that tier 4 in Miss Marvel's passive. Then it's a team that's well worth going on. Now, the key ingredient for that team, in my mind, is going to be Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is so good, she can be on her own team, man. She's an absolute beast. So again, a character that's well worth taking up to 75. But before working on this team, we need to make sure we got the tier 4s in Miss Marvel's passive, and then worry about the team. The Inhuman team is something that I'm focusing on at the moment. I'm level 71 in my guys, and I'm going to take them up as high as possible, really. I really, really like the Inhuman team. They've got beautiful punch-up potential. Just require a stupid amount of bio gear. So that could be a very good substitute for instead of the for the first team instead of Shield, right? Then we're looking at Spider-Verse, but again, we're using a lot of characters in this that we've already used elsewhere, or at least one. I know Green Goblin was already in the Sinister Six. So again, for Blitz, you don't want to be spending those charges where you don't need to. There may be just as good a replacement elsewhere, or there could be another brawler that we could put in here and then put in someone else. You know, there's ways that we can move these guys around, or put someone else in the Sinister Six, as it were. Right, Fantastic Four, again, for war offense. Beautiful. Freaking love this team for war offense. And Namor is your linchpin. Namor gets such an insane boost for damage. So I like this team. Again, I would probably prioritize it a little bit further down the list. As they're starting to become farmable, though. Yeah, as they're starting to become farmable, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would prioritize them pretty quickly. I think a lot of it's going to be in your own mind. Where are you working? I know you said you get a lot of attacks in war, every war. So if you're looking for a good attack team, Power Armor, Fantastic Four, Supernatural are all great attack teams. You know, all great attack teams, where Shield, as Guardians, are more defense teams. So, yeah, and the core component in that team for me, especially in war, is Namor. Then we move on further down to the Kree team. Now, I've noticed all the Kree team are about 6 stars, so if you were thinking about getting them up to 7, that would strengthen Fury, obviously. And then you could take this team up to... This is one of the tricky teams, right? This is a team that I might not say take to 200, but maybe take to 150 and give yourself some options, you know? Like, at 87k, they're going to be very, very difficult to find use for them in many wars and in many game modes. They're probably not even going to do that well in the further rotations of Blitz. So, yeah, taking them up to 150 is going to give yourself just a few more options with them. Now, the AIM team here is such a big team, man. It's such a big team. And, again, the transition for Science is Supreme on how many teams she can go into in the long run is absolutely huge. So, I would definitely be focusing on taking her up massively. Like, favourite her right now. Start farming her out as much as possible, and she's gonna pay you out dividends in the long run, man. It really is. Then we go down to again a team that will be fairly straightforward at like 150 to 200, but until then they're not much cop, especially with the red stars you've got on this team as well. This could be quite a ferocious Wakandan team. And then we've got pretty much who we've got left out. So my big advice at this point in time, and my big advice for everyone at this point in time really, would be start focusing on individual teams and taking them up to a certain amount. Now, what that mark is depends on how much you want to focus on them. Right, so if you're doing what I do, 71 and gear tier 12, I'm stuck on these teams for quite some time. And I'm not working on anyone else for quite some time because I'm putting all that bio gear, all of that stuff into that one character. And it's a big gold drain as well. It's a big gold drain. So you could get away with spending a lot less taking these guys up to 60 or 65s and then gear tier 10 or 11 and get literally go through them a lot quicker than I will be able to finish one team, for example. You know, and then once you've got those guys up that you're using, you've got your attack teams that you're using, you've got your defense teams already set out, then you can start going, right, what team do is my favorite? I really love power armor. Sweet, let's take power armor from 65 to 71. Let's take them up from gear tier 10 to 12, that type of thing. And you can focus on that a little bit further down the line. But I think for a quick boost in the right direction, individual teams, meta teams as well, but individual teams up to a certain amount. And a lot of these guys you've already got at 61, 60, you know. A lot of these guys are already there level-wise. Let's get them up gear-wise. Let's get them up ability-wise as well. I can't stress how important the ability-wise is to the team. So taking someone up to like 6664, for example, it is huge. Huge. That's where a lot of these guys' power comes from, is the ability. So that's another thing that I should say actually as well. When you're working on a character, like if you're going level 65, gear tier 11, gear tier 10, 6664. Don't worry about the tier 4s. Don't worry about what we need to tier 4 yet. You know, we're not at that point yet. We're going to tier 4 the guys that we're taking up to 75s. You know, we're going to tier 4 the key components in the team, but we're not worried about that just yet. We're going to get the base of the team 6664, level 70, level 65, gear tier 10. That would be my aim. Not every team, but the teams that I'm using, the teams that are going to be helpful, the teams that are meta. You know, your power armor, your aim, your supernatural, your X-Men. You know, your shield, the standard teams. Get them up to that core level, and you're going to have a lot more playability with them. Right, so that is it for me today. I hope it's helped you, man. I really do. Guys and girls watching this video, I hope you've also helped. I also hope this has helped you. Words are hard, okay? In some way, shape or form. Let me know down below what you think of the advice, and let me know what you would do if you took over this roster right now. But until next time, boys and girls, I shall see you on the flip side.